Welcome back to the deep dive. This week, we are definitely skipping the history books and diving headfirst, really, into the digital trenches of Genoa City.
Yeah, things are explosive right now.
Totally. This isn't just, standard corporate raiding. It feels like a total chaotic breakdown. We're going to dissect a week of just massive confrontation, huge secrets coming out, alliances shifting constantly. And it all seems to center on this one piece of, well, potentially world-altering AI software and the really personal, almost catastrophic fallout it's causing.
That's absolutely right. Our mission today is to take the sources surrounding what we're kind of terming the Genoa City AI war.
Good name for it.
Right. Specifically looking at that really high-stakes, volatile period, October 13th through the 17th, 2025. We want to truly understand how this nexus of high technology, these old inheritance secrets, and just intensely fractured family loyalty, how it's actively tearing the established corporate landscape apart. We're looking for the why, not just the what.
Exactly. And the sources, they don't waste any time pointing to the immediate triggers, do they?
Not at all.
The drama just exploded with Kane Ashby's completely volatile lashing out. I mean, he's basically pushing back against the entire corporate establishment.
Right. But at the same time.
But simultaneously, you've got Kyle Abbott making this really serious, and the sources call it a risky move on a much more personal front.
Yeah, totally different sphere, but connected.
So these two actions, one professional, one deeply personal, they just set the stage for this week of absolute crisis across Genoa City.
It really is a perfect storm, isn't it? Where you have this extreme human ambition colliding head-on with powerful, maybe uncontrollable technology.
Yeah.
But to really grasp the threat Kane poses now, we have to look back. We need to understand the incredibly shady foundation of his whole business empire. It's not just like bad ethics now. The sources point to a criminal origin.
Okay, let's unpack this straight away because this feels critical. It's not just a recent corporate issue. It's this deeply rooted criminal origin story that, frankly, Victor Newman seems to be weaponizing right now.
Precisely.
We have to talk about Kane's company, Arabesque, and this serious cloud hanging over it. The source material actually calls it the Arabesque scandal.
Yes, and the sources are pretty definitive here.
Yeah.
The company's origin, its very foundation, is tied to a years-old inheritance con.
Right, the big one.
The massive scam involving Kane's, quote, fake son status, and crucially, the actions of his notorious father, Colin.
Ah, Colin, of course.
The accusation, which Victor is now apparently ready to prove, is that Colin conned a wealthy chateau owner, she's just referred to as this old lady in the docks, out of a massive inheritance.
And we're not talking small change here, are we? The sources hint at something significant, like high seven figures, maybe.
Exactly. It's implied to be a fortune. And the core accusation is that Colin then funneled that, ill-gotten inheritance money directly into the initial founding capital. That money built Kane's entire corporate empire, Arabesque.
Oh, so if that's proven, the whole thing is rotten from the ground up, the whole structure.
That's the implication. And this is where Nikki Newman's involvement becomes pretty crucial early on.
How so?
Well, she voices these specific suspicions, lending them credibility because she knows both families, the Newmans and the Ashbys, so well.
Right.
But the real corporate hammer doesn't drop in a courtroom. Not yet, anyway. It drops in the press. Newman Media gets involved.
Okay. And that sounds like Victor's strategic mind at play, right? Using the media arm?
Absolutely. Newman Media publishes what the sources describe as a truly damaging expose. It basically outs the whole Colin and Kane thing and the dodgy start of Arabesque.
So it's not some dry legal filing people ignore. This is public annihilation.
That's a good way to put it. The power of Newman Media here is that it weaponizes public perception. It ensures the scandal isn't just contained to boardrooms.
No, it hits the stock price.
Exactly. It compromises Kane's ability to operate. It shames the families involved. The sources confirm this hit piece is so potent it actually forces two of the most important people in Kane's life, Jill Abbott and Lily Winters, to confront him directly.
So the game shifts immediately. It goes from corporate warfare to, personal survival for Kane.
Totally. And that leads us straight into the core corporate fracture, the one that's testing everything we thought we knew about loyalty in Genoa City.
Which is this battle for truth, as the sources call it, between Victor Newman and Jill Abbott. And it shifts so quickly, doesn't it? From a corporate problem into this really profound personal test of, familial denial.
Victor's stance is, it's typical Victor, isn't it? Uncompromising. Absolute. Yeah. He insists Kane is an immediate, almost existential threat, not just to Arabesque, but to Chancellor Industries, maybe the whole city. He claims he has definitive proof.
What kind of proof?
The sources hint it might be a physical letter, something really damning about this dodgy inheritance scheme. Victor isn't just worried about Kane succeeding. He warns Kane could actually destroy Chancellor if he uses whatever leverage he has. He's framing this as a necessary preemptive corporate strike.
But Jill, Victor's old sparring partner, head of Chancellor, she's just standing on this emotional bedrock of refusal, isn't she?
Completely. She refuses to believe that Kane, the man she still sees as her son, despite everything, is capable of this level of, well, ongoing destruction.
Or maybe she just refuses to believe Victor's acting in good faith.
That too. Critically, she doesn't trust Victor's motives. She accuses him point blank of fabricating evidence, or at least twisting it, simply for corporate conquest, for control.
Which, let's be honest, isn't exactly out of character for Victor.
No, it isn't. And this is where the psychological aspect gets fascinating. She defends Colin. That's the emotional crux here. Jill claims she was with him when he died, says he was genuinely remorseful, asserts he had turned over a new leaf right at the end. Now, whether that's true or just wishful thinking, it speaks volumes about her deep desire for some kind of familial redemption, for stability, even when the facts are aggressively piling up against her.
I'm struggling a bit with Jill's logic, though. I mean, she knew Colin was a con artist, right? Is it possible she's not just defending him out of love, but maybe because if Arabesque's origin money is proven fraudulent, could that drag Chancellor down too? Is it self-preservation?
That's a really critical insight. Her denial might absolutely be a protective mechanism for her company, even if it clouds her judgment, compromises her objectivity.
And Victor would know that.
Oh, Victor understands that dynamic deeply. He's deliberately exploiting this familial vulnerability, testing her corporate competency under pressure. Nikki Newman sees this whole emotional chess game unfolding.
Right, she tries to mediate.
She attempts to, yeah. But even Nikki, despite trying to broker peace, can't seem to shake her own growing suspicions about Arabesque's funding path. The evidence, or lack thereof, is bothering her too.
And then Jill makes this huge, telling concession. It's almost a crack in the dam.
Yeah, what's that?
She finally challenges Victor. She says, any proof you have about Colin and Kane and this dodgy inheritance, send it to me. I'll look at it myself.
Ah, okay. That's big. That indicates the doubt, despite her fierce defense, has really taken hold, doesn't it?
It has to mean that.
Exactly. That challenge isn't fueled by certainty, it's fueled by profound uncertainty. And while the heads of the dynasties, Victor and Jill, are locked in this sort of political skirmish,
The foot soldiers are moving.
the foot soldiers are already active. Adam Newman and Chelsea Lawson are actively digging for more dirt. They anticipate uncovering much more than anyone, maybe even Victor, expects.
And what's their angle? Power. Profit.
Likely hoping to leverage whatever they find into greater power or, profit within the Newman structure. They smell blood in the water, definitely.
So the foundation of Kane's empire is rotten. The corporate giants are fighting over the spoils or trying to minimize the damage. But the ultimate weapon, the most dangerous thing in this whole war, it isn't the old money, is it?
No, it's the technology itself.
Let's pivot then, right to the heart of the crisis. The weapon of war, Kane's AI.
Yes, and this is where that term AI war becomes chillingly literal. Because this technology isn't just like a business tool, it's explicitly framed as a weapon.
How powerful are we talking?
Kane's AI software is described as having the power to, and I quote, destroy Genoa City's balance of power. We are not talking about a simple trading algorithm here.
Okay.
The sources suggest this AI is capable of massive digital manipulation, potentially engineered for deep market interference, maybe data destruction across rival networks, or even disrupting supply chains vital to the city's economy. It really is the nuclear option for corporate warfare.
Wow. Okay, so the stakes are incredibly high.
Yeah.
And that's triangulated the pursuit, right? Putting three very powerful men on a collision course, Kane, Victor, and Jack.
Absolutely. Kane's right at the epicenter. He's trying to insist he's acting in everyone's best interest, even while his world is collapsing around him because of that Newman media expose.
But when he's cornered, when he realizes he's losing Jill and Lily's trust.
That's when his plan shifts. His planned retaliation becomes digital vengeance, launched through this incredibly powerful, potentially destructive AI. He intends to use it as both his shield and his sword.
And the motives of Victor and Jack, they're perfectly ruthlessly opposed, aren't they?
Completely. Victor's goal seems to be pure, unapologetic domination. Publicly, he insists the AI must be destroyed immediately so Kane can't use it.
But
But Jill and Nikki, rightly, are deeply suspicious. They believe Victor secretly wants it for himself.
To use against Jack and Shabbat.
Potentially, yes. As leverage or maybe even an active weapon against his eternal rival, Jack Abbott and Jabot. That's their fear.
Meanwhile, Jack's motivation is framed differently. More subtly, maybe.
It is. He wants the AI, but as insurance. He doesn't necessarily seem to want to proactively use it against Victor. Not right away. But he absolutely wants it as a protective measure.
His own nuclear option.
Exactly. His own deterrent tucked away in his back pocket. The sources specifically note he's working really hard to protect the family companies. That suggests he genuinely fears what Victor would do if that AI fell solely into Newman hands.
So Jack's not driven by malice necessarily, but by pure strategic self-preservation for the Abbotts.
That seems to be the read. And this duality of motive protection versus domination is what fuels this incredibly heated confrontation we see between Jack and Kane.
Tell me about that. Jack confronts Kane directly.
He does. Jack goes to Kane and essentially demands he destroy the AI. Or if he can't bring himself to do that, give it to someone neutral.
And who does Jack suggest?
Well, first he suggests himself, which Kane apparently just laughs off. Shows you the level of trust there.
You do trust, okay.
Then Jack suggests Jill should hold on to it, maybe as a more neutral party between Newman and Abbott interests.
But Kane's counter-argument, the sources say it's brutal and effective.
Oh, it cuts right to the bone, right to the heart of the Abbott family tensions. Kane throws Jack's own history of betrayal and exclusion right back in his face.
Wow.
He reminds Jack that he also turned his back on Billy, his own brother.
Oof. Yeah, that's hitting below the belt, but it's true, isn't it?
It is. It's the perfect cynical counter. Kane basically highlights the deep-seated hypocrisy in Jack's demands for neutrality and trust now. Why should Kane trust Jack to act in Chancellor's best interest when Jack has historically struggled to act in his own family's best interest?
And Kane actually shows some maybe strategic foresight here, too.
He does. He believes, and the sources confirm his suspicion is pretty reasonable, that this current alliance between Victor and Jack is temporary. It's fragile.
He thinks they'll turn on each other.
He predicts that the moment he hands over that AI, they will inevitably try to use it against each other. So for Kane, maybe holding on to the AI, as dangerous as it is, feels like the only leverage he has left to survive their combined, ultimately self-interested onslaught.
So Kane holds the digital bomb, and the Newmans and the Abbotts are desperate to defuse it. Or, maybe more likely, rearm it for their own purposes.
That sums it up perfectly. Okay, let's move to the immediate fallout. The dramatic, very personal fallout caused by Kane being backed into this corner.
Right, because when a corporation explodes like this, the shrapnel never just hits the boardroom, does it? Section 4 deals with the personal damage, Kane's aggressive spiral.
Yes, the sources confirm Kane reaches a major low point after those confrontations with Lily and Jill. That Newman media expose just strips him bare, professionally and personally.
And his response, predictable, maybe?
Predictable and aggressive retaliation, just as Victoria Newman apparently feared. Kane storms straight into Newman media.
To confront who?
No, to confront Chelsea and Adam directly. He's absolutely furious that they ran that smear article on him and Colin. He refuses to just take the loss quietly.
And his threat, it must be related to the AI, right?
It is. It's specific, and given what we now know about the AI, absolutely terrifying. He threatens to launch an AI attack, either on Newman Media specifically, or maybe the entire Newman empire.
Wow. So this is the moment. The hypothetical cyber war everyone was worried about becomes a truly imminent reality.
It seems so, and this is exactly what Victoria had tried to warn her father about.
She saw this coming.
She feared a full cyber war. The sources say she explicitly cautioned Victor against pursuing Kane so aggressively through Newman Media, knowing that if Kane lost face and leverage like this, the retaliation would likely be swift and digital.
And now the Newmans face the possibility that this AI could, cripple or even destroy their entire corporate structure?
That seems to be the threat, yes. Meanwhile, Victor, perhaps a bit oblivious to the immediate danger because of his own ego, or maybe just confident.
He rewards Adam and Chelsea.
He does. Rewards them for their loyalty and for successfully taking Kane down with the expose. But, as we just noted, that piece is incredibly fleeting because Kane's violent, aggressive retaliation is now hanging over them.
And here's where the personal cost really hits hard, especially for Jill.
Yes, she's caught in such an impossible choice. Completely in the middle. She's forced to decide where her loyalties truly lie. Is it her family tied to Kane, this man she raised? Or is it her fiduciary duty to Chancellor Industries.
Her loyalty to Kane must be getting severely tested by these factual revelations, right? The one suggesting Victor might actually be correct about Arabesque's origins.
It has to be. The pressure on her is immense. And we can't forget the long-standing family history, the dynamic between Kane and Billy Abbott.
Right, Billy's involved too. How?
The sources confirm Billy is going hard after Kane. But his motivation isn't presented as purely corporate ethics. It seems fueled by pure, bitter jealousy.
Jealousy over what? Jill.
It seems so. It's highly personal. Billy apparently resents Jill's ongoing bond with Kane and the obvious soft spot she clearly still has for him. He knows how she just lets things slide regarding Kane's behavior.
Something she rarely did for Billy himself.
Exactly. So this corporate feud is deeply layered with years of personal resentment, sibling-like rivalry between those two men, competing for Jill's approval and support.
Okay, so Kane is cornered, unraveling, facing betrayal and attacks from all sides. And then, a very unexpected alliance starts to form.
Yes, this provides a fascinating moment of character study. Phyllis Summers steps in.
Phyllis, with Kane.
That's what the sources strongly suggest. Phyllis starts getting romantic with someone surprising, and all signs point directly to Kane. It seems she moves closer to him precisely as he hits his absolute lowest point, both professionally and personally.
Why? What's the connection? The sources say they might bond over being sick of the constant trash talking to them and about them.
That's one theory. They are both figures who attract controversy, right? Often the target of corporate or personal attacks. They definitely share that kind of chip-on-the-shoulder mentality.
Which could make them extraordinarily dangerous together, couldn't it? The birth of Genoa City's most vengeful power couple.
It's a possibility. But what stands out to me, and to others in Genoa City apparently, is the potential strategy behind it.
Meaning?
Well, her own son, Daniel Ramalotti, immediately suspects her motives. He questions why she's getting so close to Kane during what he rightly calls this dodgy business.
So is Phyllis genuinely looking for, I don't know, emotional validation with a fellow outcast? Or is she maneuvering?
That's the question. Is she maneuvering to gain leverage in this collapsing corporate structure? Perhaps sensing that Kane, holding the key to that AI, is the key to future power himself.
Given Phyllis's history of strategic chaos, Daniel's suspicion seems pretty well founded.
I'd say so. It sets up a fantastic, high-stakes, emotional dynamic that will almost certainly have corporate consequences down the line.
Okay, that's a lot happening at the core. Let's widen the lens a bit now. We need to pivot to some of the secondary dramas unfolding at the same time. It proves that this theme of control and danger is kind of universal in Genoa City right now. Section 5. Danger, distance, and destinations.
Right. And first, we need to talk about Mariah Copeland. She's currently off-screen, still in that psychiatric clinic in Boston, getting treatment.
But the distance hasn't kept her safe, has it?
Apparently not. The sources reveal that Daniel and Tessa Porter have developed some serious fears. They're worried someone connected to Mariah's violent past. Specifically, the old man Mariah tried to kill might now be coming after her, even in the clinic.
Wow, so that danger is resurfacing. The implication is that old conflict, the one involving violence and trauma, it wasn't fully resolved.
It seems not.
Uh-huh.
And Tessa's determination here is, well, it's profound. It shows the strength of her commitment to Mariah.
What'd she do?
She insists she will visit her wife, Mariah, at the Boston clinic, no matter the risk. She says she'll be pushy about getting in if she has to. She's demonstrating this willingness to disregard safety warnings for her marriage.
The sources also mentioned Daniel and Tessa talking about maybe finding this guy themselves to figure out the threat.
Yes, which shows the extreme risk they're considering taking to protect Mariah. But this protective instinct gets complicated by hints of a possible love triangle simmering in the background.
Between Daniel and Tessa, while Mariah's away.
It seems that way.
Yeah.
Tessa clearly appreciates Daniel enormously. She explicitly calls him her best friend. They share supportive physical affection, hugs and things. But the sources note he's explicitly put firmly in the friend zone.
But he feels more.
Yet they mention his quiet longing and that he's looking askance at the whole situation. It indicates deeper feelings he's suppressing.
So if Daniel is showing this quiet longing, how might his protective instincts towards Tessa intersect with the genuine danger facing Mariah? Could it jeopardize his neutrality or even his friendship with Tessa?
That's a potential complication, definitely. And meanwhile, poor Sharon Newman is back in Genoa City, worried from afar, trying to keep faith in Mariah's recovery, probably unaware of how truly dangerous things might be getting for her daughter in Boston.
Okay, switching gears now to something that should be happier. but maybe won't be.
Let me guess. Danny and Christine's wedding.
Exactly. Danny Romalotti and Christine Blair are finalizing their long-awaited wedding plans. It's apparently set for the November sweeps period.
Okay.
Christine is shown busy discussing wedding details, but also potentially some serious issues like Michael Baldwin's legal situation, maybe Lauren's concerns about him. But the overall mood is meant to be celebratory.
There's always a but in Genoa City.
But the sources heavily foreshadow potential chaos, specifically around their bachelor and bachelorette parties.
Yeah, they're happening soon, and the sources suggest incidents that might go sideways. Let me guess who the likely perpetrator is.
Phyllis?
Has to be Phyllis, right? Maybe energized by her new connection with the equally reckless Kane? Is she going to try and cause trouble?
The source material even wonders specifically if she'll try to pull some highly inappropriate stunt, like literally jumping out of a cake at Danny's bachelor party.
Oh my goodness.
Just to derail Christine's happiness or maybe reassert her own presence in Danny's life. Given Phyllis's incredibly tempestuous history with Christine, that level of high-octane chaos seems, well, entirely plausible, doesn't it? Especially if she's feeling cornered or emboldened.
Absolutely. Classic Phyllis move. Okay, finally in this section, we circle back to Kyle Abbott's risky move. This connects back to that theme of obsession we talked about.
Right. He's scheming hard to keep Holden Novak away from Claire Grace Newman.
And his desperation is becoming alarming. He's persisting in these plans, which apparently include the risk of him actually showing up in L.A. to intervene personally.
Which could backfire massively.
Hugely. The source material explicitly warns that his intrusive actions could actually push Claire past her breaking point. He's trying to protect his territory, his emotional claim on Claire, but he might be severely jeopardizing her stability and recovery in the process.
It just perfectly mirrors that core theme, doesn't it? Obsession. The desire for total control, whether it's Victor grasping for the AI or Kyle grasping for Claire's affection and maybe dependence.
That refusal to relinquish control, it seems to be the engine driving almost all the drama right now.
Yeah. Okay, that sets us up perfectly for the last main section, Section 6, the LA connection and the broader fallout, because the ripples are spreading.
They are. And first, Nick Newman decides he's had enough.
Wisely, maybe?
Perhaps wisely, yeah. Enough of the toxic drama in Genoa City, and he heads west to L.A.
Why LA?
The sources say he simply can't stay away from Sharon and, significantly, the recast Noah Newman who's out there. It demonstrates that even a Newman sometimes needs distance from Victor's orbit, from his control.
And this move introduces a whole host of new faces and storylines out there, right?
It does. It's crucial for this new L.A. storyline. We get the debut of Tamara Braun as a character named Sienna Bacall.
Okay.
Matt Cohen joins as Detective Burrow. And as mentioned, Lucas Adams takes over the role of Noah Newman. Plus, there's the mystery character played by Roger Howarth, adding this significant yet still undefined intrigue to that whole L.A. plot.
And the sources suggest this new LA ensemble is focused on something. Something that could have major consequences back in Genoa City.
That's the implication, yes. It's not just a side story. Meanwhile, while Nick's heading out there, Holden Novak is apparently thrilled that Claire is also in L.A.
Oh, okay.
And they're shown actively reconnecting, strengthening their bond, which of course just sets the immediate stage for further, probably intense conflict with Kyle. He now sees his romantic rival establishing a firm footing right where Claire is.
So Kyle's trip to LA seems almost inevitable now. Back in Genoa City, though, the pressure is still mounting. The corporate instability is spreading.
Definitely. Jack and Diane Jenkins are described as being on high alert. They're watching this volatile interplay between Kane, Victor, Jill, and Billy. They know they have to brace for more chaos. They realize they're likely just secondary targets in Victor's relentless pursuit of that AI.
And it's not just the main players feeling the strain. Audra Charles.
Yeah, Audra is specifically noted as being in a really bad place emotionally.
Yeah.
She seems to be spiraling, maybe due to the corporate upheaval, her own personal failures.
Barb.
And the sources speculate that she and Kyle, too, currently emotionally volatile and arguably self-destructive individuals, might soon take their frustrations out on each other.
Oh, boy. Adding another layer of messy, volatile personal conflict to the mix.
Seems likely. And this all loops back, really, to the originator of this particular corporate war. Victor.
Missy's worried.
Nikki Newman is increasingly concerned about Victor's relentless obsession with control. She fears that his incessant targeting of Jack Abbott, his aggressive drive to dominate this situation with the AI, she fears it could ultimately lead to genuine tragedy.
Does she see parallels to his past behavior?
It seems so. She sees the gravity because she has that history with Victor. This mirrors his historical fixation on past rivals, where his refusal to yield also resulted in massive collateral damage, often personal.
She knows he's backed Kane into a corner.
Exactly. And the sources predict that Kane, feeling like he's lost everything, might lash out with that AI as his only perceived escape. This really confirms that Victor's actions, driven fundamentally by that desire for total domination, are the primary destabilizing force here, risking a potentially catastrophic cyber war for everyone in Genoa City.
Okay, so wrapping this all up, what does this really mean for you, the listener? Our deep dive today, I think it shows that the true source of all this chaos isn't just one volatile person. It's not just Kane Ashby.
Right.
It's more the systemic, ruthless corporate hunger embodied by people like Victor Newman and maybe even Jack Abbott to an extent. They both seem to see this AI not just as a threat that needs to be neutralized.
Fundamentally as a prize.
Yeah, as a prize to be weaponized against each other, ultimately securing their own dominion, whatever the cost.
Absolutely. In the conflicts we've dissected today, they demonstrate so profoundly that family ties, personal vulnerabilities like Jill's complicated bond with Kane, Jack's fraught history with Billy, or even Kyle's obsession with Claire, these often become the greatest leverage in corporate warfare.
They're exploited for business gain.
They are. These personal costs are weaponized. And ultimately, the most dangerous players in this entire high-stakes game seem to be those, like Victor, who simply refuse to let that potential for total domination go, showing, really, a consistent disregard for the human and corporate collateral damage left in their wake.
Which brings us to our final provocative thought for you to mull over this week. Given the intense, specific danger this AI poses to Genoa City's whole balance of power, we're talking potential digital destruction, and given Victor's long history of obsession and strategic acquisition, is it truly more likely that this AI will actually be destroyed, as Jack publicly demands?
Or is it perhaps merely going to change hands, ensuring that this digital sword of Damocles remains hanging permanently over the corporate world of Genoa City?
Something to think about.
Definitely. Keep digging into those motives, and we'll see you on the next deep dive.